BTS News.a an hour ago, a shocking incident shocked the BTS fan community around the world. The names of Jungkook and Jimin, two BTS members who have always been in the spotlight due to the closeness and dynamics of their relationship, are again echoing on social media. But this time, not because of the sweet moments or laughter together on the screen, but because of the emotional spotlight caught from Jungkook's own eyes. Jealous. The word suddenly became trending, sticking out like lightning in the cloudy sky. What exactly happened? Why do so many fans think Jungkook is jealous of Jimin? The story began with a short video that circulated on social media. The video, which is less than a minute long, shows a moment when Jimin is talking to someone who doesn't seem to be a member of BTS. The figure was not clearly visible, but his body movements indicated that he was someone close and familiar with Jimin. Jimin's bright smile, his little laugh, and the warm look in his eyes, all captured very clearly. But even more surprising was Jungkook's facial expression that appeared just a few seconds later. In the video, the camera accidentally captures Jungkook's face in the background. His face was not smiling. His eyes stared at Jimin and the person he was talking to with a look that was hard to explain. There is tension, there is some kind of emptiness, and there is something akin to discomfort or maybe jealousy. As soon as the video went viral, the hashtag #JungkookSimbaru immediately dominated Twitter and Weverse trending topics. Soldiers from all over the world began sharing screenshots of Jungkook's expression. Most judged that the expression is not a mere coincidence. Many assumed that Jungkook clearly showed displeasure towards the interaction between Jimin and the stranger. Even some observant fans highlighted Jungkook's changing body gestures after seeing the interaction. He who had previously looked relaxed, suddenly stood up straighter, clasped his hands, and chose to walk away. This phenomenon immediately sparked heated debate. Is Jungkook really jealous? If so, why? What is happening behind the scenes that we do not know? Jimin and Jungkook, or familiarly referred to as Jikook by fans, have long been a much-discussed couple. The two have a very strong chemistry, not only on stage but also in everyday life. They are often seen taking care of each other, supporting each other, and encouraging each other. Not a few of their sweet moments have been evidence of a deep emotional bond. However, deep ties often come at a price: vulnerability to unexpressed feelings, hidden jealousy, and invisible conflict. On numerous previous occasions, Jungkook had often shown a protective nature towards Jimin. He did not hesitate to reprimand people who were too close or seemed excessive in treating Jimin. Even in one of BTS's old variety shows, Jungkook once said, "I don't like it when Jimin Hyung is too familiar with other people." The phrase was once considered a joke by the other members, but now, after today's incident, it has been brought up again as a sign that Jungkook may really have feelings of jealousy towards Jimin. What makes this incident even more interesting is Jimin's response after realizing the camera's spotlight. In one of the additional videos uploaded by fans, Jimin is seen turning his head towards Jungkook and smiling slightly, as if realizing something. He then quickened his pace and approached Jungkook, briefly talking to him. However, Jungkook's expression remained unchanged. He just nodded slowly, didn't really respond, and chose to look the other way. The brief interaction was the subject of analysis by the fans, as if Jimin knew that something was different from Jungkook at the time. Whatever the real reason behind Jungkook's expression, this incident shows that even in friendships or relationships that are already very close, emotions such as jealousy can still be present. It could be that it is not a form of jealousy in the romantic sense, but rather a protective sense that arises due to the intimacy that has been established for a long time. Perhaps Jungkook feels left out or feels deprived of the attention of someone close to him. What's interesting about all of this is the way the army responded. Instead of muddying the atmosphere or provoking an argument, the majority of the army showed empathy and concern. Many conveyed messages of support to Jungkook, understanding that everyone can feel complex emotions. Some fans even wrote that this incident actually made them feel that the relationship between BTS members is very human, not just an image or gimmick. There is also another side that cannot be ignored. The video raised a lot of questions about who was actually talking to Jimin. Is he someone from the staff? Is he an old friend? Or someone who has not been publicly known? Some fans began to conduct independent investigations, trying to figure out who made Jungkook look uncomfortable. But in the midst of the uproar, wise voices also appeared, reminding that the personal lives of BTS members are also worthy of respect and do not need to be too interfered with. However, regardless of who the figure is, one thing is certain. Jungkook is human. He has feelings, he has boundaries, and sometimes he feels left out. He doesn't always have to smile. You don't always have to hide your emotions. And today, an hour ago, was the moment when a small part of that emotion was accidentally seen, and it changed everything. Social media is full of theories. Some consider that this incident is just an ordinary moment that is exaggerated. They remind that everyone has the right to talk to anyone without having to make others feel threatened. But others still believe that expressions can never lie. That there was something behind Jungkook's gaze that could not be ignored. The international army also gave their reaction. From Korea, Japan, Indonesia, Brazil, to America, all discussed this incident. Even some entertainment media began to cover it as part of the rarely seen human emotions of K-pop idols. Not a few mentioned that this is a rare moment when an idol shows his fragile side unintentionally. Meanwhile, Big Hit has not given an official statement regarding this incident. Typically, agencies choose to let things like this subside on their own. However, seeing how the public reaction is so great, there is a possibility that they will provide clarification, even if only to the extent of calming the fans so as not to make wild assumptions. Now, the question that remains is how Jungkook and Jimin's relationship after this incident? Will there be a distance? Or is it a way to show them how deeply connected they are? The army certainly hopes for the best. They know that a sincere relationship will always find its way back, even after a storm of emotions like this. In BTS' long journey as a group, there have been many moments that show that the members really care about each other. They grew up together, faced the world together, and understood each other in silence. It is natural, then, that sometimes emotions such as jealousy appear. That's not a weakness, but rather a sign that they're human. Just like an hour ago, the world saw a glimmer of emotion from Jungkook that is usually hidden. An expression that implies more than 1,000 words. Maybe it was just a flash of jealousy, or maybe just tired. But whatever it is, the army remains here, understanding, waiting, and loving as always. And as the night begins to fall, as the camera's glare begins to dim, we know one thing for sure: something has indeed changed. But that's not the end. Perhaps it is precisely a new beginning in the long story between Jungkook and Jimin. A story that continues to live, grow, and be witnessed by millions of hearts that love them unconditionally.